Hey, what's going on, everyone? Welcome back. It is me, Avery, with Miss Kimberly Curran downstairs. As you see, we are discussing Color Girls. Yes, that came out in 2010. Rated R. I'm going to call you Tara. I'm sorry. Kim, did you know this was the first rated R Tyler Perry movie?
No, I didn't realize that, and you can call me Tyra any day, she's awesome.
She is awesome. She
I
is
love
awesome.
Tyra.
Shout out to
But
Tyra.
no, I didn't realize this was a rated R. Makes sense.
Yeah, it does make sense. I didn't know that either until we was preparing for it. This comes in at 2 hours and 13 minutes. Coming of age psychological drama. That's a description for you, and also drama. Guys, we're talking full spoilers over here. Okay, if you haven't seen the movie and you don't want to be spoiled, please go check it out and then come back later. Kim, why are we talking about a Tyler Perry movie that came out in 2010 and we in 2025?
Well, you guys, we are going through our top, I believe, 10, either most interesting to us or favorite or most conversational Tyler Perry films as we prepare for his new film coming out on Amazon Prime.
Well, this movie right here came out a couple of months ago on Netflix. I'm pretty sure you've heard of it by the name of Straw with Taraji P. Henson. And Taraji's so great. I loved her and I Can Do Bad All By Myself and pretty much everything that she was in, except for one movie. In this movie, Straw, I didn't like it. Kim didn't like it. I thought it was horrible. Some people liked it, but we said, let's just talk about the positives, Tyler Perry movies. So that's what we're doing right now. Kimberly, I can say with confidence that out of all of Tyler Perry's movies, the ones that I've seen at least, that this was the best acted. It was the best performed. In my opinion, some Oscar worthy performances, or at least, nominated, or at the very least, at the time this came out in 2010, some of the best acting of the year for that year. I don't
Mhm.
remember what came out in 2010. However, Kimberly, that does not mean that this was my favorite film of
Yeah.
Tyler Perry's because it was not. I'm not saying that it was bad. This was not a bad movie. This was a great movie, and I respect this movie wholeheartedly. I just want to make sure that that is clear. Of course, this is written and directed by Tyler Perry, but it's also not written and directed by Tyler Perry. It is written by this lovely sister right here. She's no longer with.
Ntozake Shange.
Yes, I wanted to get the pronunciation right. Ntozake Shange.
Oh, well, I
She,
definitely said it wrong.
it's okay. It's okay. I wouldn't have got it
I'm
together.
glad I'm glad you put that up. Into Zaki Shange. Okay.
Shange. I'm even.
Ntozake Shange.
I don't know if you could hear that or not, but
There you go.
there you go. I didn't want to butcher it. And she wrote this alongside with Tyler Perry. This is based on an original play all the way from 1975, I believe. And I like stage plays. You like stage plays too, correct? You know, some.
Yes.
I think I would have liked this material more if I saw it on a stage play originally. Now,
Yeah.
again, I'm not saying that this was bad. It wasn't my cup of tea. I've been talking a lot. Where are you at on For Color Girls that came out?
No, it's okay. And for the record, I have a sinner's costume party tonight.
Oh, okay. I love it.
I got a sinner's party. So anyone that think I lost my damn mind, I have not. I just have to go to a party right after this.
You're gonna kill them with that right
In
there.
LA. It's gonna be really fun. But I don't wanna get the comments going, "Girl, is you lost your mind?" No, I'm
No,
fine.
everything looks
But,
fantastic.
yeah, but, this film, Brandon, I got mad at you
Oh,
because I told you remember I told you there's a list of films that I have that are called my only see once films. Precious is on it. Schindler's List is on it, and they're films that are wonderful.
mhm.
They're good. They're not bad. They're just so full of trauma that my soul can only take one look.
I agree.
And man, I'm so mad at you for making me watch this again.
I
um,
apologize. I'm sorry.
no, it's okay. It's okay. Here's the thing. This movie has so much trauma in it, and I'm gonna confess something right now to you guys. Y'all know I'm a Christian woman. I gave the screen the finger several times during this movie. I was like,
Yeah,
"You can just have this!" Like, it
yeah, yeah.
just was so full of trauma, and I know, the original writer, I don't wanna Miss Shange, I'll call her because I don't
Every
wanna get her first name wrong. I was doing some research on the original play, and she's the first Black playwright to, have a first Black female playwright to get a Tony nomination.
really?
Yeah, no one had ever done it before her. So, this was a actually work of art that was a collection of 20 poems
Mhm.
that she had put on stage, and I believe in the original stage play, there are no men
Really? Okay.
in the
Yeah.
play,
I didn't know.
and yeah, and something that I found interesting, Brandon, was she took issue with this film. She had
Oh,
originally decided to work with Tyler Perry and to he went to her, because she was living at the time, and, was like, "Hey, I'm gonna adapt it into a film. Can I get your blessing?" And she was like, "Okay, cool, cool, but here's some rules I have,
mhm.
Medea can't be in this film." I think she
Gotcha.
didn't quite understand the direction he was going. But, her review of the film was that he cheapened her work.
Really?
Um, and I thought that was very interesting. And yeah, I was watching an interview with Tyler Perry saying, knowing what her audience originally, what it meant to them for this film, and having done it the way he did, the way he interpreted her work, um, he probably would not make the film again, which
Okay.
I thought that was interesting.
Very, very.
This was so heavy. Um, I love, Brandon, how poetic it is. I actually really I love stage plays, and I love, I say love a lot, but my heart beats deeply for poetry. I'll say that. There were moments in this film where they went from dialogue to kind of, poetry, going kinda into these poetic monologues, and I loved that. I loved certain scenes I know we'll get into, but when Whoopi Goldberg and Tessa Thompson were or no, Thandiwe Newton were both speaking at the same time, and one person speaking their truth, and then in the background you hear Whoopi. I think that's so beautiful. That's something I love it when it's in musicals where 2 different people are singing 2 different songs that somehow meld together, and I appreciated it so much. I gotta say the positives, Brandon, as we get into this, is that the cast was phenomenal, and, I there should have been Oscar nominations, 100%. The film did not do well at the box office, but, I don't think box office should rule who gets an award for
Of course.
fantastic.
Yeah, yeah, that's insane. That's insane. Okay, well, of course I saw this when it originally came out, and this is the second time I saw it.
Mhm.
I honestly didn't remember anything except for the unfortunate tragic rape scene and the kids being thrown out the window. Other than that, I remember Phylicia Rashad was in this, but most of the cast I forgot. I forgot
I
James.
forgot Kerry Washington was in here.
I forgot Carrie was in this. I forgot everybody was in this except for Phylicia Rashad and maybe one or two other characters. So I was just like,
And
oh,
Whoopi?
I was just
I totally forgot. Did you forget about Whoopi?
uh,
Because I did.
yeah, I was like,
I was like,
this cast
"Oh."
is stacked. This is crazy. Okay, and it's starting out heavy and is very, very poetic. And one thing, Kimberly, and you was talking about the positives, but I'm about to go to the negative too. I tend to not like opening credits in the film unless
Mm,
I'm telling a story.
yes.
This has nothing to do with this movie, but I think some of the best opening credits that I've ever seen in my entire life was X-Men Origins Wolverine. The movie itself
Oh, Wolverine, okay.
was garbage trash, but just the opening scene of showing him in World War One, World War Two, the Civil War, and all that, dope as hell. Scott Pilgrim versus the World is one of my favorite movies of all time. That's definitely not for everybody, but for my particular taste, it's a masterpiece. The
Mm.
only reason I don't give that movie a perfect 10 is because of the opening credits. It ruins it. They had a great opening scene, and then it just cuts to a screen where they're just flashing colors for 5 to 10 minutes, showing names. It was very, very jarring. I say all that to say I love the opening credits in this movie. I thought it was
Mhm.
fantastic. I said it set the tone for you knew exactly what you was going to get into. I love the colors of the rainbows and how that ties into the title of the film, and also the original title of the film for color girls who have considered suicide or when the rainbow is enough. And I thought that caption at the very end of the movie was very touching too. But I was watching this movie, of course, and I think I was about maybe 30 or 45 minutes in. Remember, I didn't
Mhm.
remember anything. I'm like, this is so poetic. Okay, yeah, we got
Mhm.
the opening poem, but it's just like all these poems everywhere. And in the middle of the movie, I said I have to look this up to see what the synopsis is. And just like you said, it reads, each of these women portray one of the characters represented in the collection of 20 poems, revealing different issues that impact women in general and women of color in particular. Now, I will always applaud anyone, especially Tyler Perry, for shining light on issues across in the whole spectrum that's just
Mhm.
not covered and mainstream or just kind of just there is a dim light. It's not a
Yeah.
bright light. And if there are women out there that have gone through all of these tragic things and they get to be represented on screen, I applaud that 100%. Okay. So, and I just want to clarify because at the very beginning of this, I said that this is not for me, and that's fine. Every movie and TV show does not have to be designed and tailored for Brandon Keith Avery. That's nuts, And so I just want to express that if there are women out there and men that can resonate with everybody in this movie and or the play, hey, that's what's up. I think it's a success as far as that's concerned. But Kimberly, oh, and also I just wanted to add, you said that there was no men in the original play. I think in the original play there was no names either. Like all the
Oh,
characters were described as colors, like their costumes,
mhm.
like Lady
Mhm.
in Red, Lady in Purple, Lady in Blue, etc. So that's interesting. But I would have liked this movie more if a lot of the poetry was taken out and the
Oh,
poetry could have just been left in the play. Because the delivery for me on a lot of the poems, when they're going from monologue into a poem or considered the same, it didn't work for me. The
okay.
only two that I really did appreciate was when Thandiwe Newton's character was talking to her sister
Mm.
after she got out the hospital. That was beautiful. That delivery from sister to sister felt very, very genuine. It felt real. It didn't feel fake. It didn't feel forced or rehearsed or anything like that. I felt that was having a real conversation. I thought it was beautiful. Also, the scene with Loretta Devine as she was monologuing or giving her poem, she was delivering that to the women at the clinic. So again, for me,
Oh,
it
that
felt
scene was beautiful.
yeah, it felt more direct. It felt like she was expressing, something that she went through. And little girls, I done been there. Y'all ain't gone through nothing that I ain't gone through. I remember my daddy told me that once. Like you, anyway. Um,
You ain't gone through nothing, boy.
I thought it was wonderful, and I was like, the delivery is just on point. But the first part of the film where I almost clocked out and just started. I mean, at one point in time, I was watching this. I was like, okay, I'm enjoying the beginning. Well, I enjoyed the very beginning of the movie, like the first third. Well, I enjoyed the first and last act.
Okay,
The
okay.
second act is kind of where I was losing interest because I hate to see women raped in movies and television. I mean, it makes me uncomfortable. I can only imagine it makes a woman 100 more times uncomfortable. And if you've ever been through that, and infinity more times uncomfortable.
It just doesn't seem necessary to me. Like,
Yeah,
it just
it's yeah, yeah.
I think in the '90s, we had a lot of movies that showed that,
I'll give you that. Yeah,
in the '90s, I felt like there was always a movie like, "Here we go again, and
yeah.
here we go again," but I just
It was horrible. But when she was recovering in the hospital and the detective was talking to her, asking those probing questions where it was so insensitive. I understand he has to do that, but like, are you sure that you didn't suggest and flirt with him? I was just like, this is crazy. You know, when she started talking and monologuing and giving her dialogue right there, I was just like, the acting was great, but it just didn't work for me, that scene. I was just like, just kind of, I hate to say this, but I got to be honest, it just kind of felt phony baloney. I
Mm,
can't see a woman, and I can't say this because I'm not a woman and I've never been through this, but it just didn't seem real to me that it would express so much in that setting to a stranger that she doesn't know. I agree with every word that she said, as
mhm.
far as, you think that you're told, or you think that somebody that's going to come rape you is a stranger, they're not somebody that you're close to, and that you kiss goodnight with a closed mouth and have a nice dinner with and have one dance and just a sip of wine. I believed it all. Well, I mean, I hope I'm articulating my point right. Is I
Yeah.
agree with everything she said. That is true. That happens. That's reality. But just in that setting, it just didn't feel real. I wish it was just a regular movie or dialogue than a poetry scene, or a poetry song. And so I don't know. It kind of just clocked me out amongst other portions of the film as far as that's concerned. You agree? You disagree? Am I crazy? Am I saying?
No, no, I get it. I think something that makes, like, when you say, like, when we use the term dramatic, sometimes I think about it. This film made me think about the definition of dramatic and how we use it in society and how we use it in Black society, um, in our corners of life. And I think something that Tyler Perry has always been on the tight wire of is being too dramatic. In my family, we call it, like, we'll see someone acting that's doing the most, and it's like the writing is there. The writing is there. You don't have to add extra drama. We call it going to, like, if someone's like overacting, we're like, oh man, they went to the good time school of acting, like, just so damn dramatic. And I feel like Tyler Perry's always walked the tightrope that made me feel like, dude, trust your writing. Don't push them to be overly dramatic. You don't need to do that. For Color Girls, it's already such a deep and moving piece of art that it's gone down in, like, like, history of just poetry and Broadway, and the body of work itself. These 20 poems themselves have made such an indelible mark on history. You don't need to add in that way. It's already a beautiful piece of work. You don't need to show a guy butt naked raping a woman on the floor. And by the way, it was such a long rape scene.
Yeah,
It was so long.
3 minutes.
You don't need that. I mean, there's scenes where you see someone rip, the skirt off, or the underwear falls on the ground and then you hear something break. There's enough connotation where you don't need to show it.
Yeah.
And I think where Tyler Perry went wrong in so much of this is you reverted back to the good time school acting. You didn't need to be so much. And that's not to say, I know people have made criticisms of, like, some people say that we're too much and we're not. And I get that, but sometimes in specific situations in life, in film, in art, you have to trust what's already there. And I feel like in this film, he didn't trust the work that was already there. She already got a Tony nomination. You're not going to do anything. You can elevate the material, but when the writer says you cheapen it, watching this, I see why she said that, is that you didn't need to go there so much. But as I like, Brandon, on our last podcast, we were talking about directors that, what directing is, and how some people don't realize, like, directing is really being like a coach over your actors in real time, letting them cook, saying, okay, wait, they're doing something, don't stop rolling. And sometimes directors in the corner whispering things to their actor. Go deep. How does that make you feel? Remember when we talked about this? Let that go. A director is such a psychological coaching and stewarding of your actor. And I think he did a good job in that. But there were some things I imagine on the other side of the camera that Tyler Perry was going, give me more, give me more. And I just feel like he didn't need to do that here.
I feel you.
Because these actresses, man, you can give them a bland sentence and they can turn it into
Yeah.
a memory that you have and a feeling that you felt in a traumatic time, and you are right there with them feeling it all over again. Like Thandiwe Newton, like she's one of those actresses, like just let her cook, just let her do her thing. Phylicia Rashad, leave her alone. Leave her. She really doesn't. She's such a pro, and she's so theatrical herself.
Hmm. Hmm.
Just let her be.
Yeah.
She's got this.
My friend, I thought I had her pulled up here. Yeah, Phylicia Rashad. I love her to death.
God, I love
Um,
her.
Real quick. Well, no, I'll come back to that. Well, no, I'll say it now. You brought up the money. It made 37 million worldwide. That's not
Mhm.
enough because it had a $21 million budget. So unfortunately, it didn't make any money. It lost money. And the fans liked it, or 25,000 of them. Critics really didn't care for it. Um, you like Phylicia Rashad and
Oh, Loretta Devine is another one.
yeah,
Just let her. That's those are the actresses where the director. I don't care how great you think you are. Sit down with them, hear the material, and just listen to what they have to say about the character,
yeah,
and you take notes. There's some actors where as a director, you're the best thing you could possibly do is sit back and take their notes
yeah.
and just run the camera and the lighting, like just let them do their thing.
Frank was stressing her out, man. Um,
Oh my
did
god,
you
yeah.
have a favorite? I gotta say this now. I'm gonna forget. Did you know that since we was talking about trauma and how heavy it was, I'm gonna come back
Mhm.
to the Loretta and everybody else here in a second. Michael Ealy had trouble accepting the role. He didn't want to do it at first. Like, bro, you're telling me I gotta kill my kids? They're gonna hate me, you know. Even though he was mentally ill, still just messed up. He said he had to get a blessing from his mother to, accept the role. So I just thought
Wow.
that was really significant there.
Wow.
Then you said Thandy was one of your, and I'm sorry, I don't know if you have any commentary there, but you said that Thandy was one of your favorites. For me, my favorite performances came from it's nearly a tie between Janet Jackson when she was confronting her husband at the end,
Oh,
um,
so good.
Whoopi Goldberg, and Kimberly Elise.
Oh,
Specifically,
Kimberly
scene-
Elise.
I mean, how you can't get over not only your children dying, just say from a car accident or a terminal illness, you saw them get murdered in court.
Murdered.
I mean, like their bodies are not together when
I
they,
mean, she was cleaning their blood off the
yeah.
sidewalk.
And then
That's horrific.
Tessa Thompson's character ran over the blood. I mean, you can't ever get over that. But I still love the scene between Phylicia Rashad and her. Like, baby, what is your plan? Are you just gonna sit here and die? You gotta take responsibility.
That
And
was so
she put
deep.
her hand over her mouth. She's like, oh, and she was crying. I'm not trying to be funny, but I was like, oh my God, this
It's
acting
so
is ace. It is
heavy.
fire. It is so good. And she says, but it didn't save my babies. And she said, well, go save another woman's babies. I was like, God damn it. This is crazy. Y'all wrote the hell out of this right here.
So amazing.
That was a
Tyler Perry's writing was good. I mean, he had to adapt the screenplay plus, there's the bodies of work he was working with were obviously the original 20 poems that made up the story, but also what she did on the stage play and then adapt that to a film. And he adapted to film. I don't think he did a bad job. I really don't. I just think he should have just trusted just the writing and so many points. But that scene was so heavy because I think many times in tragedy, especially when a man causes something, and I got to be careful here, but it's the truth. I mean, it came out of Phylicia Rashad's mouth. She's like, you have to accept some responsibility for
yeah.
this.
I was like, oh
There's some situations where women like, he's crazy, he's off, and family members are telling you, but you're like, for whatever reason, oh no, we'll get through it, or we'll get this. There comes a point where you gotta pack up and leave.
yeah,
You have to seek help. You have to take up that family member that says, you can come and sleep on my floor if you have to. Sometimes you have to die to your pride or your embarrassment, or you got to go to a shelter. Like you cannot have this guy talking to himself and making stuff up and drinking constantly and then be like, I'm gonna leave him with my kids and my
Yeah,
neighbor, like,
and
you
it
know, or after you hit me one time and I got and you hit my babies, that's the thing right there. You hit my kids, you hit me, it's about to be a fight. You hit my kids, I'm about to catch a case. Like, there is no argument there, and it's hard. We don't want to. We've made the idea of victim shaming sometimes something into something it's not. There's a difference between victim shaming and trying to speak wisdom to someone and help them have the courage to do what's necessary. And I think that's the tough thing about accepting that scene between her and Phylicia Rashad is you kind of want to say, what do you mean? Like, you know, she tried to fight when they were out the window, but it's like, yeah, but what had to happen for us to get to this point?
yeah, and it came out of nowhere. I mean, she just running home to get some reports. She gets flipped into the wall a few times, hit,
Mhm.
and then her see her children, being
I thought that happened at the end of the film. I actually, when I saw that scene, Brandon, I mean, I haven't again, this is my no watch again list. So I haven't seen this movie since I was sitting in the theater thinking it would be something that I had no idea. I was in the theater and I walked out pissed
yeah,
originally because I was like, what the fuck? I didn't want to see that. I
yeah,
didn't want to see that.
yeah.
But I, for some reason in my head, I thought that was like the last thing that happened in the movie was him dropping the kids. I forgot that was like damn near the first act.
Yeah, yeah, it was pretty early.
And that,
I
you
forgot
know,
too. Because I remember I was like, "Damn it, Janet is pulling up, to the crib." I think this is where it happens. I get really frustrated. I mean, Felicia's role character, she did, I mean, everything that she could, but the fact that so many people were just standing and looking, not doing anything, it
she called CPS, you know,
I mean, I saw a white man looking up on his phone and everybody. I mean, just I don't let the let the kid fall on you. Okay, yes, you're gonna be hurt too, but damn, you're gonna save their life. I'm not asking
and
you to be Superman, but you just like, oh,
yeah,
I remember
at
this.
least put your arms out. I don't care if you break both my arms, like and it made me think of, like, you know, some stuff on the Instagram. Stuff on Instagram I've seen where, like I saw this video, and I think it was in, Ukraine, where, you know, there's bombs going off, there's buildings burning, and there's a kid dangling, and the people got, like, a sheet, and they just did what they could, and I know your people are thinking, "Oh, what are they gonna do with the sheet?" Well, they ended up saving the kid's life.
Mhm.
And it's like, let's all, I don't know, let's all put our arms together like
Yeah,
this, you know,
yeah,
like do something other than, I mean, but like her character Gilda, she did try. And I have to give, I like Gilda because I gotta say there's a lot of people who see stuff happening with their neighbors and the first thing out of their mouth is it's none of my business, I'm not getting involved. But as we saw with Kerry, segueing into Kerry Washington's character, and I want to pull up her character. What was her character's name? Kelly. Her character, she kind of had some guilt because she
yeah.
was dealing with her own infertility issues. And she kind of said, you know, because the husband rushed her out, you know, I mean, he threatened to beat her ass,
Yeah.
you know, had she fought and as a, CPS, you have resources. All you have to do is go out into the hallway and call backup and be like, "Oh, this guy threatened me. Oh, I'm definitely taking the kids. Why did she leave? Why did you let him bully you out? Fine. He got you out to the hallway, but that's when you call SWAT. That's when you get the kids out. You know, you don't go home and be like, "Man, I tried to save the kids from that abusive man, but he threatened to punch me."
This is in New York.
Anyway,
I
on my day,
yeah, I know some social workers carry, or here in Texas.
that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Um,
Mhm.
did you have a favorite story?
Um, this is gonna sound a bit odd, but Thandiwe Newton's story, I really liked her story because I think sometimes we look at women who are hypersexual and just think they're a slut, which it's not ladylike behavior, but seeing the other side of, I think not a lot of people talk enough about how hypersexualization is a symptom of abuse a lot of times. It's a sad way for someone to feel like they're getting their power back, and that's what she was doing by having those guys over. I mean, one homeboy was like, "Oh, all I got is $80," and and she was upset because she's like, "I'm not a prostitute."
I just
And I
want
think in society, a lot of times we look at women, especially, or men going through, but mainly women, just because the dichotomy, and I could go into all that. But we look at hypersexualization as like you're such a slut, you're such a manho, you're such a f boy. But sometimes it's an unhealthy way for victims of child sex abuse to regain their power. See, I'm gonna sleep with you and I'm not gonna care. I'm gonna use you. You think you're using me. I'm gonna use you. Oh, baby, you got breakfast? I got stuff to do. You gotta go. For her, it's not just dismissing him. For her, that makes her feel powerful. That makes her feel in control. That makes her feel in charge. Um, I really love the way Thandie Newton played that character. Oh, I just love the way, she
well,
was just so fiery. Like,
yeah,
she was messy and she was fiery, and I feel like sometimes when you have those characters, people overdo it or they do it wrong. I feel like she played damaged and messy, very true to what it often is.
um, I agree somewhat. Since you say that, how do you feel about the relationship between Gilda and her character,
I
Nyla?
thought it was beautiful.
And Nyla was the younger sister, Tangi. Uh,
Yeah.
oh, okay, because she was checking her the whole movie, so I didn't know if you agree with that or not.
I totally did because what I loved is that she didn't just check her. She I mean, she was on her case. Like,
Mhm.
I see you. I see the men in the hallway. But what she had inside of her was what she was able to release when she finally got the girl to quiet down and stop talking back and yelling, and she went into her apartment against her will and got her some ice and cared for her, but spoke truth to her, which I feel like, guys, in society, we need to do more of that, caring for someone and speaking truth. When you speak truth without love, it just comes off as this is why so many people have problems with Christians is when you try to speak truth without sowing a seed of love first, it just comes off as, "There you guys go bashing me with the Bible. There you guys go bashing me with your morals." It's like she went in to care for her, and then went into instead of, again, giving a taste in people's mouth of like, "Oh, you're a hypocrite. You're just down on me." She shared her story and was like, "I first let me care for you, and then let me be vulnerable and open up to you that I am you. I was you. I was the girl with guys coming in and out of my apartment till she had the beautiful story of her husband, but she's like, I was you. And this is how you reach people. And I'm talking to all you Christians because I'm a Christian and I know why people don't like us is you lay the foundation with love and then you open up about your own issues and then you speak truth. You don't just go wagging your finger in someone's face. And that's why I think Gilda and her relationship was beautiful because they connected. It wasn't just there you go, ho, there you go, slut. It was really speaking truth. And I like how feisty her character was, yelling at her and why don't you get back in your own place? And I don't know.
Yeah, yeah, I
It
got
was
you.
beautiful. It was the right way to check somebody, in my opinion.
I can dig it. I can definitely dig it. I almost passed out myself. Well, actually, before I say that, did you know initially what the $300 was for? That it wasn't for a college application fee, but
This
it
is
really,
the great thing about good writing and acting is like you fooled me, but you didn't for
mm,
a minute. And Tessa Thompson, I don't know about you, but this was the first time I saw her on screen.
really okay, okay.
I hadn't seen her before. I can't remember anything that I'd seen her in before for Color Girls because I remember when further in her career, when I started seeing more of her, I would always be like, "That's the girl from For Color Girls." Like that was my
Oh,
initial point of reference for Tessa Thompson.
okay.
Um,
I thought her going over how she lost her virginity in the Buick was very weird. For me, at
mhm.
least. If you guys liked it, let me know in the comment section. But
I
when she
loved
got to
it.
go, you did. Well, I'm
Yeah,
not pass to you, but
you
in addition to that, I almost passed out when she went to go see Macy Gray.
Oh god, I forgot Macy was in this.
I think I was like, do I need to fast forward this? I'm glad they didn't show anything, like blood or blood dripping in the water or the liquid or the whatever. But that made me I was just like, I can't watch this.
I think a lot of people have never seen those tools before. A lot of people don't know what those tools like, just seeing the tools alone.
But going back, you said you liked her little montage, not montage, but monologue of her losing her virginity in the back of the Buick. You liked it?
Mhm.
Oh,
Yeah, the reason I liked it is it was so truthful of what women think something is before reality sets in. It was so truthful of what an 18-year-old girl would think without even thinking of the consequences of, did you ask him to get tested? Did you see his test results before you guys got in the back of the Buick? But for her, it's all a dream. So the reason I loved it is because I'm like, that's so true. You think it's such a fairy tale. You think things are such a fairy tale. And the consequences, because she was kind of bragging, but kind of like, I felt like a woman. And it's like, yeah, you feel like a woman for maybe a couple of minutes. And then you're nauseous or you're
yeah.
itching or you're burning or you're like I just liked the truthful portrayal of how a young girl thinks about her first time when it's her choice. And
Okay.
still even after she's, because remember, like, it wasn't her boyfriend. They weren't in love. Like, you never see this kid, but I just like that because sometimes when girls get pregnant or anyone get STD or something, you're like, "What were you thinking? What were you thinking? You didn't use a condom. What were you thinking?" And this was her saying what she was thinking. It was this and that in my body and the way he was looking at me and the moonlight. And it's like,
Huh.
baby, that's what she was thinking. She thought it was
Okay.
so great.
I got you there. I mean, you would know more than me because you said, I think specifically, I don't want to misquote you, that this is what a girl at that age, 16, 18, would think. But when I was watching this and I was watching this scene, I said to myself, I cannot wait to ask Kimberly how realistic this scene is and if a woman or girl would express herself this way amongst friends. I guess the answer is yes.
Mhm.
But for me, when I was watching, I was just like, this just seems kind of weird. I don't know, maybe because she was a teenager or something, and I'm just like, But
Let
again,
me tell you,
this is
let
not,
me tell you,
I'm not the
Brandon,
target audience for this. Go, keep going.
Brandon,
Yeah.
that mentality doesn't leave after your teen years. This is how girlfriend, I'll be 41 this year, and I'll tell you, I still have brunches with girls that now looking back, that guy's a buster. I can't believe I was with him and he did this and he didn't tell me he was married. I have had brunches and girls trips and lunches and dinners and cocktails with friends who are in their 40s like me, and they're describing things like this,
That's believable.
Brandon.
It's,
And then down the line, we find out he's a scrub or he's this or he's that. But
she was
mind of a woman.
they was all dancing together in unison, and she was express, and then the da 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 and the da da da, and I'm just like, it just, we can move past that. But I feel you though. I feel you. I feel you. I feel you.
It's
Uh,
just the mind of a woman, Brandon. That's just, it never leaves.
right on, right on. I said earlier that Whoopi was Alice. Is it Alice or Alex? She was one of my favorites as well. She was an extremist. El Nohim. When she got
Who that ninja? Who is El Nohim?
yeah, I don't know. I had the subtitles on too.
I know Elohim.
Yeah,
I
yeah, but
know Jehovah Jireh, but I ain't never heard of Brother Man. Like,
she had the ash at the end and all the oils and was like, I rebuke you, and
was that ox blood or was it oil?
I don't know. It was something I don't want on me. The way it was
I'm like, if it's jojoba oil, her hair is just gonna grow. But like, but if it's ox blood, I don't know what's happening.
while she came off as crazy, I still like the fact that Nyla and Tangi still had a love for their mother. And at the end, it was nice. She said congratulations. I forgot the gift that she brought her. She kind of left and said, "This is devil music. I got to get out of here." And that was supposed to be bring some levity right there, but just Nyla saying, "Hey, mama," I liked it. And the scene between Whoopi and Tangi. when she was like, "Wait a minute, you being a hypocrite. You took me to the same exact woman when I was getting abortion."
Oh,
She was like, "But I was with you." I mean,
okay.
I don't have it's
It's so unhealthy.
yeah, yeah.
So unhealthy.
I'm not trying to. I don't even have the words right now. I mean, I understand nobody's right, everybody's wrong. Because to send her there by herself, I mean, just to go to a little shack like this is just it's
Oh
not
my
the
god.
best. But to send the girl by herself, that's just kind of next level right there.
Yeah.
And they kind of both gave up. Like she sat down like back against her, like Whoopi Alice sat with her back against the wall, and Thandiwe was over there on the ground. And um, it was I like the confrontation.
I
Uh,
do too. And
mm,
I mean, they were slapping each other. It was confrontation.
yeah.
Her mother slapped her and she slapped her right back. I was like, "Oh my god." I think that even though they came together at the end, it was almost a little unhealthy for me because I actually didn't like it because I'm like, this enmeshment with your mother is unhealthy.
Yeah.
This is the kind of relationship where you need when people talk about boundaries and there's toxic people in my life and all the psycho babble and stuff, like, honestly, those words have place. Like, that's the kind of mother where you see her once a year and then you gotta go. Can I spend the night? No. I love you. I'm so glad you got to come over and have some greens and 7 Up bread and I love that, but you gotta go.
Yeah.
Like, that's a once a year visit. That's her living in the building with them. That was such an unhealthy mother-daughter relationship because did she apologize at all for giving her up to the
I don't
father? Like, I think she
I don't
didn't.
remember. I don't remember. I don't remember. That's I don't know. If y'all remember, let us know in the chat in the comment section. We would really appreciate that. Joe, Janet Jackson, and the comment
Mm.
that I was gonna make before we hit record is, I was like, you giving off some Janet Jackson vibes over here with the, and that's I say that as a compliment. But
Oh, I wasn't thinking
I was thinking, um, you her character Joe in this, before it was revealed that she contracted HIV from her husband, did you feel sorry for her at all? The reason why I ask is because she was rude to her assistants, Loretta Devine's character who came through trying to I mean her presentation wasn't the best. Juanita Sims, not Simmons, but Sims. She was rude to Juanita Sims, rude to both her assistants, very dismissive. Um, Also, she was on her second marriage. And when she
Mm,
was like, "My first husband, this happened," and just because of her attitude the whole time, I was like, "I can see why y'all divorced. If you acting like this all the time, you just ugly person."
mhm.
Did you feel sorry for her at all, before that and all her struggles?
I felt sorry for her in the sense of, wow, what emptiness is in your life that you have to treat people like this? You can be busy, you can be a boss babe, like, you can be a CEO without treating people poorly. You can be, someone that walks in the upper echelon without, um, talking to people like that. You can be a lot of things, when you have power, and choosing to be like that is a choice, and it made me feel I felt sorry for her in the sense of, "Damn, what who hurt you? Who
Yeah,
pissed in your Cheerios? Like, who girl, what's your story? Like, this girl got raped, this girl got this, like, what? Did
right.
someone just use you as a punching bag?" That's in the sense I felt sorry for her.
Okay,
Um, because at a point once you get past the anger, it really is sad. Like,
okay.
people like that may think that they seem tough and don't I well, that's just how I talk because I'm a boss bitch and da da da. At the end of the day, it's pretty sad that you can't carry a normal, compassionate disposition simply because what?
What do you think should happen to Carl? That's Amari Hardwick's character. He's in denial. I'm not. I don't have any relationships, no attachments. I'm not getting bent over. I'm the one doing the bending. I just like to have sex with men. Like,
Bruh,
she's
bruh,
supposed to be okay with this? That's not
bruh.
that's not good.
It made me think about I don't know if you watched Oprah when she was on, but I feel like we all kind of did, right? I remember Oprah in the 90s having, or early 2000s, maybe having a whole episode on men on the down low. And you remember how this was a thing?
Hmm.
Uh, this was a thing in the early like 2000s, like of men on the down low, kind of before um, I feel like that community really developed, the LGBT community, like, really developed,
Hmm.
into what it is. There was a lot of people, we're kinda coming out of the '90s where there's many, the most you ever heard about homosexuality was through hate crimes or those people in San Francisco, or it wasn't as accepted and understood, and as it is now. And so I remember that era of men on the down low and how that was a whole that was a thing. Like that was a whole topic of Oprah. I think there was someone on Oprah talking about, I'm not gay. Like I love my wife. I just like sex with men. And so that was a whole thing before, I think, a movement of people choosing to, like, saying, be accepting and being more vocal, especially in the Black community. Remember, we called it being on the down low. So that just took me back to that time. I thought that was interesting, but I think it's incredibly, whatever your journey is, you don't have the right to put someone's life in danger. I don't care what your journey is.
Right, right, right.
And I know everyone's got a story, but you just don't have the right to place other people in danger simply because you're going through your own journey. That's
That's
wrong.
true. This
It's
is true.
dangerous, and he could have killed her.
You could have. You could have.
It's not okay.
I'm glad that Bill died and got stabbed to death. He was the rapist.
Oh,
I wish that the sister Crystal, not Crystal, Yasmin could have got her slap when he was alive. That would have made me feel better. Um, yeah, yeah, just got to be careful because he tried to be. I mean, he appeared to be the nice guy gentleman. And
and most rapes happen by someone that women know.
yeah, yeah,
Or men too. Rape with men happens. It is real, but I think a lot of people think of, like, well, were you walking down an alleyway? Or most rapes happen by somebody you know,
yeah, yeah.
and
I
someone who obviously appeared okay.
mm,
I
two.
didn't like that, honestly, Brandon, because, sorry, I just have to say, like,
No, you're
one
good.
of the reasons I really am quite upset, I kind of held a bone to, like, Tyler Perry and, like, any director that thinks they need to show that much, is it I think it does more harm than good.
Hmm.
I think it triggered me. It had my mind on things that I've gone through much therapy to forget. Um, and I'm like, I'm a cinema lover. Like, you can be creative. You don't have to show that. You don't have to take the viewer into something traumatic just to get your point across. I thought that was selfish. Um, and I just thought it was a selfish thing for Tyler Perry to do, to show that much. I thought that was him. I thought I can clearly say that was really selfish of him to do. You want to be an auteur, you want to be deep. That to me is like so self-serving. Like, you just want to be deep. You just want people to, oh, that was just so, oh, that was so moot, that was so harsh. Yeah, you're making people suffer. You're making people suffer for what? I didn't need to have to think about stuff that I've gone through therapy to forget so you can seem like an auteur. It was selfish.
Oh, I'm
I
sorry.
don't know, it pissed me off.
No, no,
I'm
no.
gonna go into another dimension
I,
if I
I,
keep
I was
talking.
I was throwing a little words out there, but I had my mic muted, so you didn't hear me. So I apologize about that.
Oh, sorry, I
No,
didn't.
no, no. It's not your fault that I muted my mic. Frank, I really wanted Loretta to kick him to the curb initially. She was almost there, but he just kept kissing on her. I was like, no, don't give in to him. She was like, you got any condoms? But I like the speech she
Oh.
gave him at the end, like leave, and he was like, I guess it's goodbye. But yeah,
You guys is
yeah.
goodbye. Oh, cry about it. Go cry. Kick rocks. Fuck out of
This
here.
this was heavy. Um, At the I want your final thoughts or anything that I left out. Um, I liked again the college send off party at the end. But at the very end of the movie, you had all the women on the roof. They all had the different colors on, and again, I applaud and respect, Tyler shining light on real life stories that Black women, colored girls go through. That's wonderful. I just think I would have appreciated the delivery more, if you're trying to get your point across in a play form, then a color girl. So I'm just saying, if
Mm.
hey Brandon, you only have one opportunity to hear or see or witness, partake in the story, or for color girls, do you want to see it in a portrayed in a film or a play? I would always pick a play. I just think that would, and if you liked it more in the film, hey, that's fine. That's great. And again, I acknowledge I am not the target audience for this film, and that's perfectly fine. I wasn't intended to be. But still a great movie. I still respect the movie. Performances again across the board is stellar. Production is great. Again, just not my cup of tea. And I one more thing. It's like the poetry didn't work for me so much to where when it was ending, I had my Kroger groceries delivered. I got up and was bringing in my groceries, as that scene was going. It just it I just it I clocked out because
Mm.
the delivery just didn't seem that genuine, or I would have liked to see it in a play. I feel like I'm rambling here, but anything I left out, ma'am? Any stories, characters,
Um,
thoughts? Let me.
uh, it's performances like this that make me just I just am so disappointed it didn't get nominated. Phylicia Rashad should have been nominated. This should have got Best Ensemble Cast. Again, it's unfortunate that sometimes people can't separate performances from box office or even critics' reviews of the whole movie because you can appreciate individual performances and not like the whole movie,
Right.
which I feel like is what happened here. Like, you cannot like many things about the film, but their talent as actors was undeniable, and they deserved the best ensemble cast for sure. Even a Golden Globe would have been totally appropriate for this. Golden Globe, definitely. I'm really disappointed that so many critics did not recognize the talent here. Um,
Yeah. Yeah.
that's so damaging. I really truly feel like something this film leaves me with is not every great stage play, not every great work of art needs to be adapted. I think there needs to be more care taken into adapting things for film than have been. And not even so simply for the thing of like that we fall into where people are like Twilight. Well, that didn't happen in the Volturi. That didn't happen in the book. Like it's more than that. It's more like this when you have like a perfect work of art that is so near perfect that when I mean from going from a poem to the stage, I mean, luckily, it was the original author that took it to the stage, but that was risky because sometimes taking a poem and putting it on stage, that's risky because the medium in which you take in the art is so meaningful to the original desired impact, if that makes sense. I don't wanna it's hard for me to say it, but there's certain like, for example, Goodnight Moon. I don't know if you've ever read Goodnight Moon. It's a children's book, but I do not need a 2-hour Goodnight Moon movie. The story that my mom would read me at night is timeless and sticks with me, and I've always wanted to, read that to my nephew. Like, the first time I read Goodnight Moon to my nephews, I was so excited because it meant so much to me growing up. I don't need Disney to adapt it into a film. There's certain things that as a director, I don't care how ambitious you are, it's the respect for what the art originally was, and I feel like this was a bit self-indulging for Tyler Perry, I wanna say. I know that this is his medium is, Black. This kinda called to him for a lot of things that he gets criticized for because this is the ultimate Black female trauma porn. For Color Girls is the ultimate. I got everything you want. I got kids dropping out of buildings. I got rape. I got
HIV.
or abortion. I got all you need. Like if you're a dealer, like dealing black female trauma porn, like you're selling this to Tyler Perry, and I just I feel like he should have left it. Just like Color Purple, adapting the Broadway to the film was silly.
Hmm.
That's a whole nother conversation, but I think some things need to stay being appreciated in the medium it was originally given. And this didn't need to be adapted into a film. It didn't need to add men into it. It didn't need to stretch and show just so much. Um, so I have some personal things that I don't like about this film, but I can separate that from appreciating the performances, and that's what I want people to get from my criticism of the film is undeniably every performance was phenomenal and should have got nominated. However, the film as a whole, I didn't think was necessary to be adapted.
All right. Well, I'm gonna ask you just one more quick question. Just give me a short answer. If you only had two choices, choice number one is thumbs up for the Color Girls. Choice number two is thumbs down. My choice is thumbs up. What is yours, Kimberly? What is yours
Overall as a film,
overall?
thumbs
Yeah.
thumbs down.
Oh, thumbs down. I had to make her big. Okay. I ain't mad at you. I mean, that's your opinion.
Thumbs down,
That's
guys.
your opinion.
And again, don't come at me and be like, but Phylicia Rashad's acting was so good. Like I said, I'm separating the performances from my feelings as a whole.
All right. Well, guys, there you go. Thumbs up for me. Thumbs down for Kimberly. Where are
Now
you?
I'm gonna go do the Irish jig at my
Yes.
sinner's party.
Please take lots of pictures. If you don't, I will be sad. I will
I
be
will.
sad. It was something else I was going to say, but I forgot. Oh, yeah. Kimberly, this is number 9 for us. We have done 9 of these. My goodness gracious, Tyler Perry. Um, Thank you for keeping us entertained. We really do appreciate it. There may be some more documentaries or other stuff that we may cover. If you have
We
any,
got one more, right? We got a
which one is that?
are we doing Youth and Balls?
We
Oh,
are.
that's
I,
oh that
yes, I didn't want to bother you about it. So
no, it's not a bother. I feel like Brandon, we can't round out our Tyler Perry marathon with 9. We
okay,
gotta make it
I
even.
got you. That's cool.
Just
I
gotta make
won't
it
say
even.
no more. I was just like I didn't want to.
No, I got you, man. I got
I'm
you.
gonna stop talking.
We'll make it even.
Yeah, we got we got Ruth and Boaz. Also, have you checked out the trailer for Finding Joy yet? It came out like that.
I did. And my first thought was, I love that Tyler Perry's getting into the Hallmark game. And when I say Hallmark, I'm talking about how we all know the holiday Hallmark films
Mhm.
and how famous they are for being totally predictable, but they warm our hearts, right? And Netflix has come up with their own version of the Hallmark film. It's a genre. And I think it made me say, oh, Tyler Perry's getting into the Hallmark game.
Yeah.
And so that's my first thought. And I didn't mean that in a bad way. So we're, of course, going to review that, right? Because that's what we're leading this all up to. So
Yes. Give me 1 second. I'm trying to let's see here. Give me 1 second. I'm trying to look
mhm.
something up on. Just give me. Okay. Yes. Okay. 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 Now look, somebody gonna leave a comment like Brandon. The review was great. You had to make this comment at the end and ruin the whole thing. You sound like a bigot. You sound. My vocabulary is shot right now. I can't think of the word. What is the word where you don't you don't like immigrants and coming into migrating into your country. I got what is the term?
A bigot?
No, it's gosh, hold on. Term for a non.
Build the wall. Is that what you're talking about? A wall builder? I don't know.
I might have to edit this out because I sound like a crazy person right now.
Now you gotta tell me what you're talking
Xenophobic. Xenophobic. I was
Oh, okay, okay.
not trying to sound xenophobic, but when I was watching this and we was looking at the cast, I was like, man, these are a lot of. This is a ton of black men and women, American actors. I like this. Why can't we get more of this? I want more roles for Black Americans. And I will say that Tyler Perry, I do applaud him because he does give our people jobs, and I do appreciate that.
Gotta appreciate him for that, for
You know,
sure.
me watching this, it was a bit humbling because that is something I complain about. But here is Tyler Perry doing exactly what I want him to do as far as that's concerned. And one more thing before we go, I do appreciate that there was at least one decent male in this movie that wasn't uh, jumping back and forth to women, wasn't like Frank or giving HIV or raping women or throwing babies out of the window. And that's Mr. Hill Harper.
Phil
Shout out to you,
Harper.
brother. You was the only shining light in this film
Oh
that
my
loved his
god.
wife unconditionally, no matter what. Because all the 4 or 5 other brothers, and coming in, Tangi's house, nobody, all the men sucked.
Brandon, I have had a crush on Hill Harper for the longest time.
Hey, she's single, my guy. I think.
I gotta, and I know this is I love that you're bringing this up. His character was great, and I think if Tyler Perry was gonna bring men into this film, he did need to make sure it wasn't a black man bashing film.
Yeah,
Without Hill Harper's character,
Jesus.
one, he's married, he's not stringing this girl along, shacking up with her. They're married. He cares about her. He listened so intently when she was
Yeah,
telling him her story. He cared. He spoke truth to her. Um, I think had that character not been there, black men would have had a huge problem with this film
oh, that's true.
because every other black man in this film was a problem.
They
And
were.
so
They
it
were.
was important to show there are he was a cop. There are
Mhm.
strong, brave, courageous, sensitive, loving black men. And that was so important. But shout out to Hill Harper. He actually adopted a child as a single black man.
I did not
I
know
think
that.
more of that needs to happen in our community, but yeah, he adopted a child as a single black man, and I think that's just phenomenal, and I have a crush on him.
Mhm. Right on, right on. Also, Janet Jackson was fine as hell.
Her acting was on point. Remember I said when we talked about Why Did I Get Married and Why Did I Get Married Too, that this generation, like this Gen Z, like this new generation, not a lot of kids know that Janet Jackson has acted so much, and I would like to see her act again because I believed everything that her character was expressing. I And that short hair girl, Janet, Miss Jackson, if you what nasty.
Yes, yes, yes. If you're watching this on yeah, y'all watch this on subscribe to Kimberly's channel. I can't talk. Link is in the description box below. And so yeah, if you're watching this on my channel, subscribe to her channel. If you're watching this on her channel, subscribe to my channel. I would really, really appreciate it. By the time you see this video, all this stuff would have came out a long, long time ago, but I have a review up on my channel right now for The Perfect Neighbor, another documentary on Netflix, and just check out all my other Tyler Perry videos as well. But ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we want to thank you so much for tuning in. And before you go, don't forget that I'm B. Avery, that's Kimberly, and that's just our opinion. Peace out, and we'll see you next time.